In a sun-scorched desert landscape where even the cacti look like they're begging for sunscreen, Furiosa lives with her family in a lush oasis. A patch of green so rare it's basically the neighborhood's best-kept secret. Seriously, even Google Maps would have trouble finding it. One day, while scavenging for food with her companion, Furiosa spots some suspicious figures skulking nearby. Displaying cunning worthy of a spy movie, she stealthily sabotages one of their motorized vehicles, probably grinning at the thought of the confused check engine light that's about to ruin someone's day. But because nothing ever goes smoothly when you're trying to be sneaky, she gets caught red-handed as she approaches another vehicle. With reflexes faster than gossip at a family reunion, Furiosa sounds her tribe's alarm. A shriek so piercing it could probably wake the dead. She tries to flee, but the bandits capture her, tie her up, and cart her off like she's the prize at a twisted carnival game. Meanwhile, back at the oasis, her alarm does the trick. The tribe mobilizes like ants. And leading the charge, Mary, Furiosa's mother, whose maternal instincts are so fierce they could make a mama bear look like a house cat. Armed and furious, she hops on a horse and sets off on a rescue mission. Mary chases the kidnappers across miles of desert, fueled by a potent mix of rage and motherly love. Eventually, the slowest bandit learns the hard way as Mary takes him out without even breaking a sweat. She promptly steals his motorcycle and upgrade to horsepower. Furiosa, proving that stubbornness runs in the family, chews through the motorcycle's fuel line. Her captor remains blissfully unaware. Not far ahead, the bandits' bike breaks down. Two of them stop to investigate. When they notice Mary and the cavalry approaching, they panic and try to flee. But their ride sputters like a dying lawnmower. As night falls, the bandits pull over to regroup and argue over what to do next. One genius suggests they ditch Furiosa and save their own skins. Another reminds them they're at the bottom of the gang's food chain and delivering a captive might just get them promoted. Their bickering is so intense that they don't notice Furiosa freeing her legs and attempting a daring escape. She doesn't get far. Somewhere in the distance, Mary revs the stolen motorcycle, eyes blazing with determination. If the bandits thought Furiosa was a handful, they're in for a real shock. Because nothing's scarier than an angry mom on a mission. With the arrival of dawn, Mary gains sight of the kidnappers through her rifle scope. A direct shot is perilous due to their proximity to the bandit encampment. Nevertheless, she fires, striking one of the bandits. Tragically, Furiosa is strapped to the remaining bandit's back, making a lethal shot too risky. The bandit speeds into the camp, igniting a dispute among the biker gang members, each vying for possession of the girl. However, her captor claims knowledge of a place of abundance, stirring excitement among the throng. The bandits resolve to present the girl to their leader, Dementus. Mary continues her pursuit, and along the route, Furiosa manages to shove her captor off the motorcycle, preventing him from revealing the oasis's location. Dementus attempts to break the girl's spirit, but she remains defiant. Resorting to deception, the bandit orders her to be cleansed and nourished, promising to return her home the following day. Meanwhile, Mary dons the attire of the last bandit she felled and infiltrates Dementus's camp. Furiosa is led to a tent where a servant tends to her. Upon seeing Mary in a helmet, the servant, seized by fear, pleads for mercy, vowing not to raise the alarm. Mary spares her, but as soon as mother and daughter depart, the servant betrays them, alerting the warriors. A swift chase ensues following the tracks of Mary's and Furiosa's motorcycle. Realizing escape together is impossible, Mary instructs her daughter to ride away. As a parting gift, she bestows upon her a peach seed, enjoining Furiosa to plant it and safeguard the Greenlands. Furiosa reluctantly complies, watching as her mother bravely confronts Dementus's hordes. Mary fights valiantly, but is eventually overwhelmed and captured. The girl, distraught, witnesses Dementus's men brutally executing her mother. Dementus offers to release them both if Furiosa reveals the path to the oasis, but she remains inconsolable. Dementus imprisons her in a cage, forcing her to witness his bloody spectacles. He attempts to placate her, even gifting her his cherished tech bear. Dementus's historian offers to educate her, suggesting she could become a historian, but Furiosa secretly plots her return to the Greenlands, tattooing the route onto her arm. One day, Dementus and his horde, searching for the Promised Land, encounter a strange warrior claiming to hail from the Citadel, a place of boundless resources. Dementus, convinced this is their destination, sets course for the imposing fortress, defended by Immortan Joe's army. Dementus delivers a passionate speech, attempting to sway the common people to his cause. However, the Citadel's leader proposes a champion be chosen to initiate battle. Dementus' servant selects one of Immortan Joe's soldiers, who, with a final farewell, detonates himself amidst the biker warriors, inflicting heavy casualties. Undeterred, Dementus commences the assault. Immortan Joe's forces expertly utilize hooked chains to capture Dementus' motorcycles and cars, lifting them into the air, including Furiosa's cage. However, the historian manages to secure the cage, and Dementus himself intervenes to free the girl. Sometime later, Dementus reconstitutes his horde and plots to seize Gastown, one of Immortan Joe's military outposts. First, they intercept a fuel tanker bound for the town, coercing its occupants to impersonate Citadel warriors. Disguised, they approach the town, and the unsuspecting guards open the gates. Dementus' men seize Gastown, gaining leverage over Immortan Joe. Learning of this, the Citadel leader agrees to negotiate, with the bikers demanding tribute in the form of supplies. Dementus' people display the severed head of Gastown's leader, threatening to impale it if Immortan Joe refuses their demands. Realizing he cannot defeat the bikers outright, Joe reluctantly agrees to consider their terms. However, Joe notices Furiosa in the crowd. Sensing his interest, Dementus falsely claims the girl as his daughter. But for the first time in years, Furiosa speaks, denouncing Dementus as her mother's killer. Eventually, Immortan Joe allows Dementus to govern Gastown, promising to supply the bikers with limited provisions in exchange for Furiosa. Enraged, Dementus snatches the teddy bear from the girl. Furiosa is taken to a chamber where Immortan Joe's wives reside. One of them gives birth, but the child is, again, born a mutant. While Furiosa observes, one of Joe's warriors, Rictus Erectus, notices the bells adorning her hair. Intrigued, Furiosa cuts off her hair and fashions a wig with the bells. That night, Rictus brings her to his quarters, examining her and discovering the star tattoo that marks the path to her homeland. Captivated by the jingling hair, he begins to stroke it. Disgusted, Furiosa twists away, leaving the wig behind and fleeing. Subsequently, Furiosa, through cunning, gains a position within the Crane Operator Brigade, earning recognition as a fearless boy who lost his voice in war. No one suspects she is a girl, save for Rictus, who recognizes her eyes but lacks the time to decipher their familiarity. As construction commences, on a heavily armed supply truck designed to withstand raider attacks, Furiosa devises a plan to escape, concealing a motorcycle and provisions beneath the truck. During a journey along Fury Road to the fuel farm, the truck is ambushed by marauders, remnants of Dementus' gang. The truck's guards engage in a fierce battle, which unfolds while the vehicles are in motion. The Separatists employ various tactics, including parachutes, to seize the vehicles. Seizing the opportunity, Furiosa descends beneath the truck to release the motorcycle from its restraints. Simultaneously, a technician descends to repair a damaged hose, falling but managing to pass Furiosa a spare part. One of the attackers approaches the truck, attaching explosives to its underside. Furiosa saves the truck and fixes the brake. The Separatists persist, and the driver maneuvers to shake off the pursuers, but they are relentless. Furiosa climbs onto the truck's hood, and the driver, Praetorian Jack, realizes she is a girl. Furiosa enters the cab, and together with Jack, they fend off the remaining Separatists. In the end, all military guards are killed, leaving only Jack, Furiosa, and a mutant who, at her command, releases spiked balls, destroying a flying vehicle before perishing. Furiosa attempts to kill Jack, but he throws her off the truck. However, he returns, respecting her bravery and proposing they create a new convoy together. Furiosa becomes Jack's deputy, earning the title of Praetorian. Meanwhile, Dementus' mismanagement decimates Gastown's infrastructure, leading to worker discontent. Sensing an opportunity, Jack proposes they abscond, providing Furiosa with the resources she needs. During their final trip, they discover the chaos that Dementus is failing to quell. Dementus summons a council at the Citadel, ordering the truck to depart, abandoning the supplies. Learning of this, Immortan Joe is enraged and orders Furiosa and Jack to collect weapons and ammunition in Leadtown. That evening, Jack reveals to Furiosa that he desires to assist her because he still remembers his parents. The girl unveils the star map on her arm, offering to leave with him. During their last trip, Jack directs the crew to load the tanker with all necessary provision, and tasks Furiosa with driving the escort vehicle. However, upon arriving in Lead Town, they are ambushed. Jack signals Furiosa to flee while he distracts the enemy. Driven by vengeance, Furiosa opens fire with a sniper rifle, attempting to assassinate Dementus. Seeing her, the biker leader launches a grenade at her. Jack, believing she is dead, destroys the tower where Dementus is hiding. Dementus survives, seeing Furiosa saving Jack after the truck fell from the abyss. The pair flees on a motorcycle. Dementus gives chase. En route, Furiosa reveals the path to the Promised Land. Dementus's men intercept them, and their vehicle is forced off the road. Furiosa and Jack are captured. Dementus orders them to be executed, insisting Jack die first. Furiosa is chained and forced to witness her friend's torture. But as darkness falls, Dementus notices a severed hand hanging from a chain, bearing the star map. Furiosa has amputated her own arm and is now escaping on a stolen motorcycle. Summoning her remaining strength, she reaches the Citadel, where she is taken to Joe. Furiosa recounts the events, aiding in the planning of the war against Dementus. Through deception, they convince Dementus that the warriors have departed the Citadel for Gastown, and the Horde rushes to the fortress, where most perish. Meanwhile, Furiosa, having lost her way home, shaves her head, replaces her hand with a mechanical prosthesis, and prepares for battle. She seizes a vehicle prepared for pursuing Dementus and sets off alone. Dementus and a handful of loyal followers attempt to escape, but Furiosa intercepts them in the desert. Dementus orders his companions to scatter, hoping to mislead the pursuer, but Furiosa relentlessly tracks him, eliminating his aides one by one. After a prolonged chase, she corners Dementus. He feigns submission, mocking her, saying revenge will not heal her. Furiosa chains him, reminding him of her murdered mother. He confesses that the loss of his own wife and children transformed him. He reminds her that his suffering will not restore her loved ones and that he possesses a high pain threshold. Furiosa beats him but realizes the truth in his words. When Dementus loses consciousness, Furiosa seizes his teddy bear, and he finally recognizes her, proposing they unite to conquer the Wasteland. But Furiosa discards the toy. A voiceover narrates that Furiosa imprisoned Dementus within the Citadel, using his living body as fertilizer to cultivate a peach tree from her mother's seed. Later, she assumes command of a new truck, concealing 5 of Immortan Joe's wives who seek to escape his dominion. Kindly support this channel by liking, commenting, and subscribing for more. This new Mad Max movie is a tale of vengeance, filled with violence and harsh scenes, but also imbued with philosophy, soul, and hope, illustrating that even in the most unbearable conditions, one can retain their humanity and remain true to their purpose.